Hi there, Tech from Techo.com here. I hope you're all keeping safe, especially our friends in Melbourne and in New South Wales in lockdown. I'm all thinking of you. You know, I'm always on about planning, but the practice of planning is one of the 6 key contributing factors to a successful business. You can read more about each of those 6 business success factors by getting my free Small Business Owners Growth Guide from techo.com/guide. Now this week, I want to talk about the practice of planning as opposed to formal business planning. By that I mean how you make planning a habitual practice in your business, no matter what it is that you're doing. Imagine if you were to develop a practice of thinking about your ideas or any of your major projects, all of them, as a series of steps or processes where each step is properly resourced, thought through, where people are responsible for them, and where they're achieved in time. How I want you to start to think about the practice of planning is to spend an hour a day on a 5-day challenge. Are you game? You sure? Let's go. Alright, let's start on day 1. I'd like you to spend an hour to first write down a list of everything you can think of that you need to do. Now, I don't mean your normal to-do list, because many of those items are probably just simple 1 or 2-step actions which you should just do and you know it. No, what I want you to list for planning purposes are the more extended initiatives or projects that you have around the business, where you have maybe a number of steps to take to complete the project. Once you've written the list, pick 2 of the most urgent. Second thing to do, I'd like you to spend the second half of the hour making step-by-step action plans for the first 2 of these projects. What I suggest you do is, in the following order, write down what the desired outcome is. For example, if the project is to hire a new staff member, the clear outcome might be, say, to hire someone who can do a job A, without much training. List all the steps you need to take from start to finish. In the new hire example, you might write, number 1, write a job description and list the experience and skills. Number 2, decide on a salary range. Number 3, decide on the best place to advertise, and so on, up until the last step, which might be, sign the letter of offer. Next to each step, write who's going to be responsible for completing that step and when by. And then, reviewing each step, write down the resources that are required, if any. If you'd like a free copy of an action plan template that you can use, you can then download it from members.techo.com/opt-in_action plan template. That's it for day 1. Day 2, take the second most urgent project and prepare a plan, just like your first one on day 1. That should take you about half an hour. Spend the second half hour writing into your diary or scheduler the blocks of time you need to set aside to take those action steps. Schedule the steps of the plan in your days ahead. Then take a couple of minutes to review your original list and choose the next 2 most urgent tasks. You're going to work on them tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, day 3. Prepare action plans for the 3rd and 4th tasks. Don't spend more than an hour to do so. Write down the time to spend on the steps into your diary and then make the appointment with yourself so you don't miss it. Some of the action steps from those 4 urgent projects should be in your diary for today. So for the rest of the day, complete some of those steps during the day. Remember that when you schedule time for yourself, don't block out whole days unless you can afford to. You still need to spend time on your day-to-day tasks and your normal to-do list, right? So make sure you don't spend so much time implementing your plans you can't do the basics. All that's going to do is make you worry that you're falling behind. The practice of planning is meant to make things more organized, not cause you stress. Okay, on day 4, no more planning, just doing. If you have to, catch up some of your daily tasks if you feel you've fallen behind. But do spend up to an hour a day on day 4, completing a few more steps from the 4 action plans. Day 5 is a day for review. Take 60 minutes first thing in the morning. Ask yourself, number 1, how difficult was it to write everything down? I know it's hard to remember to do because you aren't in the habit yet, but it's not really difficult, is it? Decide that you're going to spend 30 minutes or so every Monday morning to write everything down, your to-do list, your larger projects, your action plans. Number 2, what can you do to make sure you make appointments with yourself during the day to complete some tasks? Planning your day is as valuable as longer term planning because it gets you organized on a day-to-day basis. Number 3, how can you distribute responsibility so that the steps are shared amongst others? How can you keep in touch with them as they progress? Number 4, how can you learn from experience and improve planning? That's it. However, now I'd like you to consider how you make this short challenge into a long-term habit. Ask yourself what's the best way to use this practice to really get organized and schedule all your work all the time. Once you get to appreciate how important it is to have thought through your next few steps in any project and how having a clear outcome and pre-planned actions can increase effectiveness, you can start to look at major planning projects like your annual business plan or your marketing plan. Hey guys, planning is one of the 6 things you must master to make your business truly successful. To read about all of the 6 business success factors, get my growth guide from techo.com/guide. I'll see you there.